My intuition is telling me there'll be better days.
What's up, fam? Welcome back to my channel. So today's video I'm actually really excited for. It is going to be a video about 23andMe and what comes in each of their reports, the health and the ancestry, and I'm going to share my results with you. It's amazing like what we can do today with science, and it's just awesome. So, you know, my mom would always tell me what my ancestry was when I was growing up, but once I found out about these tests, I was like, I want to know for sure. And what really kind of pushed me to want to do it is it also has the health report, and that was part of the reason. I was kind of scared to do the health one as well because my grandmother has advanced breast cancer and my cousin had it. In the BRCA1 and 2, the BRCA, the gene that is related to breast cancer is one of the genetic diseases that it does test for. So I was scared, but I also wanted to know so that if I did have it, I could prepare myself as well. If you are interested in learning more about 23andMe and the ancestry and the health reports, then keep on watching. And if you do like this video, please let me know by giving it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel before you leave. All right, let's get into it. Now, when I bought this, it must have been on sale or something because I just went to the price and it's a lot more than I paid for it, I think. Maybe I just don't remember. So for the health and ancestry, it is $199. But I do have a 10% off like code that, you know, they give to everyone to refer people. So I will link that down below if anyone wants to use this. For just the ancestry, it is $99. This is so interesting. I can't believe how many things it tells you. Okay, so it breaks down your ancestry compilation. So when it first comes up, okay, so and then once you click it, I am 50%, it says Eastern European, so that is Polish. So it gives you a map, and depending on the color is where your ancestry is likely from. So it says for Polish, highly likely match, and then the other ones it says possible match. But I know that my father is 100% Polish, so I am 50%. Okay, so then I am 37.9% Northwestern European, and then it's broken down into I'm 21.1% German, I am 2.4% Irish, I am 1.7% Scandinavian, I am 12.7%, it says broadly Northwestern European. Okay, so then I am 7% Southern European, and of that 7%, 4.3% is Croatian. Despite broad cultural diversity, Greek and Balkan people are genetically similar to one another, descending from early Mediterranean and Slavic ancestors. We predict you had ancestors in Croatia within the last 200 years. And then the other 2.7%, it says broadly Southern European. And it says Southern Europe, including the Iberian, Italian, and Balkan peninsulas, as well as the island of Malta, is a region defined in great part by the Mediterranean Sea. So then I am 1.5%, I can't pronounce the first part, some type of Jewish. I had no clue about that. And then 3.5, it says broadly European. Some European DNA is difficult to assign confidently to one population and receives a broadly designation. Okay. Oh, I didn't see this part before. Okay, it says your ancestry timeline. How many generations ago was your most recent ancestor for each population? Okay, So it shows that Eastern European is 1.1 to 3 generations. The German 2 to 4. The Jewish 5 to 8. The rest are 5 to 8. And it basically gives you explanations for everything. It says how to interpret this result. It gives you Neanderthal ancestry. Neanderthals were ancient humans who interbred with modern humans before becoming extinct 40,000 years ago. This report tells you how much of your ancestry can be traced back to Neanderthals. And it says that I have 280 Neanderthal variants. And it says this is more than 58% of 23andMe customers. This report tells you whether you have certain genetic variants of Neanderthal origin out of the 2,872 Neanderthal variants we test. Some of your traits may be influenced by having Neanderthal variants. Scientists in 23andMe identified associations between Neanderthal variants and certain physical traits. And those are height, straight hair, less back hair, and sneeze. Straight hair, you have 0 Neanderthal. Yeah, my hair's not straight. Less likely to sneeze after eating dark chocolate. What? Less likely to sneeze after eating dark chocolate. I swear. One variant found. So I have a reduced tendency to sneeze after eating dark chocolate. Less back hair. I have 1 variant found. Well, that's good. Height. You have 1 variant found. Shows you any relatives you have that you match with in the 23andMe database. I have 1,132 relatives. So then it talks about maternal haplogroup. You descend from a long line of women that can be traced back to Eastern Africa over 150,000 years ago. These are the women of your maternal line, and your maternal haplogroup shed lights on their story. My maternal haplogroup is V. As our ancestors ventured out of Eastern Africa, they branched off in diverse groups that crossed and recrossed the globe over tens of thousands of years. Some of their migrations can be traced through haplogroups, families of lineages that descend from a common ancestor. So then it shows you how our ancestors likely migrated from Africa up into Europe. I always believed that I was black in a past life, but now I know it's true. So recent evidence suggests that the members of haplogroup V descend from a woman who lived in Europe approximately 10,000 years ago. When her ancestors arrived in Europe is more of a mystery. They may have migrated to the west from the Middle East before the last great peak of the Ice Age, which occurred around 20,000 years ago. Oh, Benjamin Franklin also belonged to V. Common ancestors. Okay, so now moving on to the health reports. Like, some of these are actually really fun. The health traits part, not like the whole genetic diseases, but so there are so many diseases that it tests for. Type 2 diabetes, age-related macular degeneration, hypocholesterolemia, which is basically high cholesterol, alpha-1 antitrypsin deficiency, the BRCA1 and BRCA2, celiac disease, G6PD deficiency, hereditary thrombophilia, late onset Alzheimer's disease, and Parkinson's disease. So it will tell you whether or not you have any variants detected. And so I have 3 variants detected. On one, this one's new. It wasn't here before. It says type 2 diabetes, increased likelihood. Oh, really? Okay. Based on data, people of European descent with genetics like yours have an estimated 41% chance of developing type 2 diabetes at some point between the ages of 33, your current age, and 80. I guess I should stop eating so much sugar. I'll start tomorrow. The other one is age-related macular degeneration. It says variant detected, but it says I am not likely at an increased risk of developing it based on your genetic result. Because I only have 1 copy of it, it says about 2% over the people of people over the age of 50 develop it. I already have really bad vision and I wear contacts. Okay, and then the other one is the hereditary hemochromatosis. And then it says variant detected, but not likely. And this is a genetic condition characterized by absorption of too much iron. And this can lead to iron overload, which causes damage to joints, certain organs, such as liver, skin, heart, pancreas. And then it says, I am not likely at risk of developing iron overload related to hereditary hemochromatosis based on your genetic result. But, so that was the only one, so basically type 2 diabetes is the only increased likelihood, the only disease I have an increased likelihood of getting. I was so relieved when there were no variants for the BRCA1 and 2. Okay, so now into wellness. These are some of the fun ones. Alcohol flush reaction. Unlikely to flush. So it's genetic factors help explain why some people flush red in the face after drinking a small amount of alcohol. People who experience flushing may also experience unpleasant symptoms like headaches, nausea, and sleepiness. Natalie, based on your genetics, you are unlikely to flush after drinking alcohol. And then everything that it gives you an explanation for how they tested it, what gene is responsible for it. It says, in people who experience the alcohol flush reaction, a toxic substance called acetaldehyde builds up after drinking. This causes tiny blood vessels in the face to temporarily expand and fill with more blood, similar to what happens when people blush. Caffeine consumption. Likely to consume more. I didn't need a DNA test to tell me that. Natalie, based on your genetics, you are likely to drink more caffeine than average. Participants with your genetic result who consume caffeine regularly tend to drink the equivalent of nearly half a cup of coffee more than the average per day. I drink a lot more than that. Deep sleep. More likely to be a deep sleeper. Another one. I didn't need a DNA to tell me that. Lactose intolerant. I'm likely tolerant. It says saturated fat and weight. Likely to weigh more on a high saturated fat diet. Sleep movement. Likely more than average movement. Based on your genetics, you're likely to move more than average during sleep. Several studies have shown that a genetic variant is associated with how much people move their arms and legs in their sleep. One of the studies found that people with your genetic result tend to move about 16 times an hour during sleep. On average, people move about 13 times an hour. Okay, so then it goes on to carrier status to see if you're a carrier for any hereditary diseases. And I'm not going to list them all because there are so many. Like, as you can see, there are so many. All right, the next part is my favorite part, and it's traits. All right, ability to match musical pitch. 50% chance of being able to match a musical pitch. Bitter taste, and I am likely to taste bitter. I didn't know that people couldn't. Scientists believe that bitter taste sense developed to help animals detect toxins or poisons in food, but not everyone can taste the same things. Your genetics make you likely to be able to detect certain bitter tastes. Huh. It says 51% are likely to taste and 49% are unlikely to taste. Asparagus odor detection. After eating asparagus, some people notice an unfamiliar odor in their urine. Whether you can smell the asparagus aftermath is influenced by your DNA. Natalie, your genetics make you likely to be able to smell the asparagus odor in your urine. Well, that's great to know. And it says 66% can smell the odor and 34% cannot. Cheek dimples, likely no dimples. Cilantro taste aversion. I have slightly higher odds of disliking cilantro. Cleft chin, likely no cleft chin. Earlobe type, likely detached earlobes. Earwax type, likely wet earwax. Isn't all earwax wet? Eye color, likely blue or green eyes. Yep. Fear of heights, less likely than average to be afraid of heights. I'm not afraid of heights. I went bungee jumping when I was 17. I went on a trip with my friend's family to Las Vegas in high school, and I wanted to bungee jump, and my friend's mom signed a waiver, and I bungee jumped. Okay, finger length ratio. Likely index finger longer. Natalie, the combination of your genetics and other factors make you likely to have longer index fingers than ring fingers. Oh yeah, I do. Freckles. Likely a lot of freckles. True. Hair photo bleaching. More likely to experience hair photo bleaching. That's basically if your hair gets lighter in the sun. Hair texture. Likely straight or wavy. Wavy, yes. Hair thickness. Less likely to have thick hair. Yes, this I already know. Light or dark hair. Likely light. Proof that I'm a true blonde. Misophonia. Average odds of hating chewing sounds. Okay, I gotta read this one. Based on your genetics, you have about average odds of hating the sound of others chewing. Almost everyone hates noises like nails on a chalkboard, but for some people with a condition called misophonia, everyday noises like the sound of chewing can cause a similar reaction, along with rage or panic. Some scientists speculate that misophonia could result from increased connections between the brain systems involved in hearing and the flight or fight response. Motion sickness. More likely to experience motion sickness. Newborn hair. Likely little baby hair. So I didn't have much hair as a baby. Photic sneeze reflex. I don't remember this one. Hold on, let me read it. It could be a case of crossed wires in the brain. For some people, bright sunlight kicks off a round of sneezing. The combination of your genetics and other factors makes you unlikely to have the photic sneeze reflex. I didn't know there was such a thing. 58% don't sneeze when exposed to bright light. 42% sneeze when exposed to bright light. That's crazy. Red hair. Likely no red hair. No ginger here. Skin pigmentation. Likely lighter skin. That's an understatement. Sweet versus salty. Likely prefer salty. I love both, but yeah, I do prefer salty. Toe length ratio. Likely big toe longer. Unibrow. Likely at least a little unibrow. Not right now. Wake up time. Likely to wake up around 8:16 a.m. Do you mean p.m.? And widow's peak. Likely no widow's peak. So that is the entire health report. I just think that's like super interesting, and I don't know. Let me know if any of you have done a DNA test, or just let me know what some of your ancestry or heritage is. I just think it's so interesting to find out what other people's ancestry is, as well as my own. But I just thought it would be fun to share my results with you guys, and so people could get a better picture of what exactly comes with the results of 23andMe. Alright guys, well I hope you enjoyed this. I will see you in my next video. Bye!